Okay, so guys, we're getting together here. It's a small call, but we're mighty. Let me gallery view us. There we go. And if you are hopping on, just say hey, and we'll let you know what's going on. But a couple things we really wanted to talk about. First of all, we've got this whole idea that I want to kind of share with you. So a couple things. First of all, I want to talk about motivation. Secondly, I wanted to talk a little bit about a free challenge thing that I'm potentially coming up with that I've got from another coach idea that I'd like to share with you. And y'all can join in on it, or you can do your own or whatever, however you're doing things. But I thought it might be a real helpful thing for you to talk about. And then I'd love for us to kind of just share a little bit about how things are progressing in our businesses and what things we might need a little bit of help with, or things that we can celebrate with you as we go. So I did want to start off first of all quickly with any shout outs. I'd love to hear, there's a double Bonnie. I've got a Bonnie Yoder and a Bonnie Y. This is so cool.
I have no audio on my computer.
Do you remember Double Mint gum? It's pretty much, it's like Double Mint. That's amazing. I don't think we've ever had somebody come on video both. I've had audio and video. That is pretty impressive.
I'm leaving one.
Excellent. See, you're an original. That's great. Oh, you're leaving one. Oh, I got you. Okay. So any shout outs? Miss Kelsey, how's your shout out wise? I've seen you've been doing some nice things, celebrating some people. We can certainly shout out Nicole, who got on the Success Club Point board this month. It's been a while for her, so that's really neat to see her doing that. And it's always fun to see. It's always fun to see when a coach gets on that board by helping somebody, then the energy of their posts for the next couple days after that. It's really funny. Like the confidence grows, and it's like, I'm in, I'm gonna go, and I love it. So that's neat to see. I'm like, yep, Nicole feels like she's helping somebody, which matters. That's good. Any shout outs for yourself, my dear Kelsey? What did you anything to shout out necessarily?
Not necessarily.
Got it. Ashley going through has done some nice things with.
Oh yes, Ashley's doing a good job. She is she's posting more regularly. She's reaching out to people and having longer conversations with people. So she's growing in that aspect.
Yep. And I think particularly when it relates.
You're cutting in and out. I'm sorry.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay. Hopefully I don't cut out too bad. My connection looks pretty strong, so I'm not seeing any issues on my end, but maybe. Okay. So my sense would be, guys, and then Bonnie, did you have anything specifically? Shout out wise? Jen, how about you? Can you hear me, Jen?
Hey, guys. Yep, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, good. So really for shout-outs, I don't know if I have. I guess my lady in the UK, she just started meal planning, and so I was going to shout her out on Facebook tonight because she's been doing super awesome. And then for myself, I think I'm at Success Club 3 right now, and I'm hoping to hit 8 this month.
Well, go for 10, man. Don't go for 8 because. Oh yeah. If you're going to go for it, I would not to say that you wouldn't want to help somebody this month, but it's like almost if you're not going to go for full 10, and if you got that extra person, I would almost go just delay it a day or two and save it for the next month potentially if you feel like you can't.
I had one that got delayed a week out here, so I'm hoping that if that hits, then I definitely think I can get to 10.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Just working towards it. That's all I can do.
Get those people that's how you get more people in foreign countries, right? You start getting referral people. And that starts changing everything, man. Honestly, and there's so many stories about coaches who get referral customers and then they become into rock star coaches sometimes. It happens. So that's another reason why to really try to hit that Success Club. I'm at Success Club. I just hit 10, so that was good for me. Finally got to 10, which again, it's in that spot where I feel like I'm going to do my absolute best this time around because my I know where I'm strongest. I know where I tend to be weakest. I tend to be really decent at bringing people on board, but then sometimes the follow-up and helping them be successful, I tend to sort of drop that ball frequently, but I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to really try to at least do my part. Again, they have to meet us half or part way in order to do that, but I really am hopeful for this month for, to get some people some good success. And then that's where they're going to be that much more apt to, of course, consider the coaching opportunity because they're like, they believe in what we're doing, if that makes sense. Kelsey, you look perplexed. What's going on?
I promise I'm listening. I'm writing down names that I have in my messenger.
Oh, no worries. Okay, it's all good.
I'm not perplexed.
I like you look perplexed. I was like, am I saying something that's weird? That's all good.
No, just focused.
That's all good. That's great. Okay, so that's that. I really want to talk to you for a minute about this specific thing that I hit this weekend. I'm reading a book called if I'm breaking up, let me know. A book called Start With Why. Sorry, not Start With Why. That's his former book. This is called Find Your Why. And I think the biggest thing that hit me with regards to coaching as of late is actually as this last whole year. I feel like I kind of got lost in my why. Because here's the deal. If someone has a strong why, then the how and the what follow. But if you don't have a strong why that's really compelling to you, your how and your what probably won't happen all that much. But if you've got a strong why that's connected to like who you are as a person, not just coaching itself, guys. This goes far beyond coaching. This goes into a deeper level of meaning into your life where what I do connects to who I am, right? Does that make sense? So it's not just about, because especially, and that's where people get into trouble when it comes to Beachbody particularly, because if it starts to become about the stars on their diamondness or their paychecks, those things are like, so money can be a motivator, okay? But not money itself. And that's the thing I love about this book that's talking to me about is like, so money can be a motivator, but nobody just wants money, right? They want what money might provide, right? So if money provides the fact that I can stay at home with my kid, the fact that I could take my family on a vacation, the fact that I could not worry that the bills are going to be paid, the fact that I could, even example for me, this is a perfect example, and this is what, and I'll get a little bit into a revelation that kind of hit me that I think God gave me this weekend or this week, was the fact that I saw a shirt so we were up in Saugatuck, and we're in this shop, and we're going, of course, when you go on vacation, you go into a lot of shops, right? And there's a lot of things you can buy, and especially on vacation, everything's really expensive, right? So you go into these shops and you find some things. And I saw this shirt. I saw this one shirt, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is a really great shirt. And I took a picture of it, and I knew my wife would never buy this shirt. Never. And you know why? Can you guess? Why would my wife not buy this shirt? Not because of how it looks, but why? Why do you think? If my wife is a frugal Dougal, why would she not? Cost, right? She'd say, no way, it's too expensive. I've never buy that shirt for myself. And something in that clicked for me. And if you guys remember at Summit, the gal who spoke to us about the different ways that, like, how we relate to others in the first 8 years of our lives, how we relate to money, how we relate to other, those things. I forget what her name was. But that's where my wife kind of hangs, is that she lives in a kind of a place of scarcity sometimes, where it's like, I won't have enough, so I can't buy nice stuff for myself. I can't, right? I want to change that for her. I want to be in a spot where she doesn't have to buy that nice thing, but if she really wanted to, and she probably could have, honestly, in this case, it wasn't that crazy nice for sure. It was about $60, $70 shirt. But I'm like, I want to be in a situation where she could be able, with wisdom, go, I'm not going to buy that, but I probably could if I wanted to. You know what I mean? But that's where I wanted to be in that place. So for my why. So guys, really what it came down to me is I had to settle up on something for so let me give you my why here real quick. I have settled into a new why. And it used to be back when I was trying to do this full time, it was more, I think it was kind of about getting to full time became the why. And that's why it's been sort of up and downy a little bit. And then I started to worry about the paychecks. And I'm like, and we're going to be provided for. And I was running this fitness business and all this blah, 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 blah. But the thing that really hit me in 3 particular areas. One is freedom. I want people to have freedom in their lives to do and to live in ways that they would like to live. Okay. So for Kelsey, for me, it's like the freedom for her. I want her to be able to have the freedom to be able to live to be at home with Dax. I want that to be the case for her. Okay. And for lots of Jen, for you with your kids, if that's what you want to do, I want you to have that with you. Bonnie, whatever that looks like for you, I want you to have then some extra freedom in your life that maybe a little bit of financial blessing could potentially have for you, right? That's what I want. So freedom is one thing. The second is joy. I want people to have a joyful experience when they're doing what they do. Not every moment necessarily, but a lot of times. So when we're doing these fitness journeys and as we're doing our groups, I really want to start to focus in about what is it that we can do in our groups sometimes to bring a little bit more joy into it rather than have to. Because if I get into a space, and I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when it comes to challenges, if we do the have to part of things, and there always is a rough part of that, but if we're always in have to, then we lose a lot of the joy when it comes to it. And then finally, guys, it has, for me, the last thing has to do with energy. So if I can help people have better energy to live, I think they're going to make better, they're going to live out their fullest potential a heck of a lot more, if that makes sense. So I think a lot of times people are living like kind of half lives because their energy levels are so low. So when it comes to the fitness side of things, that's going to, we help them with their nutrition and their fitness and their mindset, all those things, they're going to live with greater energy and they're going to make a greater impact on this world. So 3 main areas for me for my why that I've reestablished. Why? Number 1, freedom, joy, and energy. And I don't, maybe it's joy, energy, and freedom, then it would be Jeff or Fedge. I don't know. Maybe there's a cool way if I can put that together. But those particular 3 things have really reestablishing part of the reason then why I would do the extra work in this in order to build a business. And guys, it connects to who I am. Outside of that, when it was just about like, hey, money and things, it just wasn't clicking for me, man. And I just felt like I think I was just like the have to started to come out, and I've like lost a lot of my drive and my energy to do it. So I think that's going to be a good representation for me. Now, I would really encourage you, if you haven't dug into your why lately, it's probably a good time to maybe consider revisiting that. And if you are, and again, you're listening to this call, maybe on a recording, things like that, it's something you may want to look into. The book is called Find Your Why by Simon Sinek. It's Sinek. Simon Sinek. He has also another book called Start With Why, which is pretty cool as well. But this one is like literally Find Your Why, which is a very practical approach to it and how to establish that. That's number 1. Okay, so any questions about why? Any about all of that stuff? Okay, good. All right, so what I wanted to cover real quick too here is this concept of a free challenge that I'm considering doing. I'm going to run this with some of my newer coaches, particularly. I've got Hannah Parker and John Dilling. John's back. He's kind of an older coach, but newer, back on things. But what I'm looking at doing with this particular group is, guys, it's going to be, and I'm coming up with a name for it, but it's really going to have everything to do. I'm thinking maybe the name would be fun like this, but map your macros. Okay? Map your macros, which are your macronutrients. And I think a lot of people don't really have a clue about what it means. So they calorie count, and we're going to talk about this thing. This is why a lot of people have problems with their nutrition. It is ultimately points back to two things. It points back to number one, points back to our portion control containers, which is completely a macro counting tool. Okay. And it also points back to 2B mindset. It depends on your way that you like to roll. Either of those potentially would work with. But what I really want to do, guys, is like the whole idea of mapping your macros, or maybe, maybe there's a more fun way to talk about it. But I want to use the word macros because the reason why I want to actually do that, and this is the reason why this gal does it, it pulls on a certain type of person. Okay? If they have no awareness of macros, now you can, of course, explain a lot about macros and that's what I'm going to start breadcrumbing for the next few days here, because I'd like to even consider starting it all the way to starting it next week. I know for some of you guys who are starting that other challenge right now, that's going to be maybe a concern for you. But I want to get rolling right into something that's free here, so then we can have people for the next challenge that we will be rolling into sometime in August here. Especially because I want to do it on the earlier side. I want to get started on the earlier side, because if we wait too long in August, we're going to be messed up because people are going back to school and they will not. Like, you go third week of August, try to start a challenge, it's a mess. They have the real problem because they'll go, I've got kids starting school, too much things going on. But you start about August 10th, you might be okay around that area, something like that. But anyway, so map your macros, something to this effect. So basically what we're going to do is kind of lay out the fact with Lift 4. I don't know if you guys understand, you guys probably read some of the nutrition guide. He talks about 30, 40, 30. 30% protein, 40% carbs, 30% healthy fats. If we can start helping people get that, and all we do, and it's the beauty of this group that I'm part of, I'm looking and watching what these gals are posting. They literally post a really cool, like these little pie charts, that shows you where they are and the different ways to get better carbs into your nutrition, get healthier fats into your nutrition, sneaking those things in, which is really, really great. And then you start to talk about, and you go, and you mentioned this, hey, with our Lift 4 program and nutrition plan, this like really lines up and it's great because it makes it easier, blah, 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 or whatever. And when I fill up a red container, it's a protein, and that really lets me know what I'm doing with this. But what's a red container? What red container? What's a red container? What are you talking about? Instead of, well, this is the red container system with Beachbody that you need to purchase now for blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? That doesn't work. So you start to talk about, this is what we do, and then ultimately it helps people kind of line up their macros. 7-day run, 7-day, maybe 5-day run. I still haven't decided, something like that. Probably not a full, certainly not a full lengthy challenge like a 30-day or anything like crazy like that. But probably just a 5-day run and really just put recipes in there. But not specifically, I'm not going to give a meal plan. I'm not going to go, this is your meal plan, because nobody follows those anyway. What they'll do is grab a few, not nobody, but some people do. But I'd rather throw in recipes and go, this is how you can find a better way of designing your meals. So that's what I'm going to be doing. You can feel like join if you want to join. That's great. If you want to help promote, but I'm thinking about starting it on the 23rd here. I don't know if I want to wait all the way till the 30th, as then we start getting too late for the next one. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. Any questions about that? All righty. Very good. How are we feeling all, guys, real quick about Lift 4 so far? Okay. Kelsey, you shook her head. Yes. Well, tell me more.
I really like it just because I even have challengers that have told me, I can't wait to only work out 4 days a week. I like it for me, though, because I feel like it's going to challenge me not to work out 6 or 7 days a week and to only do 4.
Yep.
Because it's going to be like a emotional thing for me, I feel like.
It is.
But I loved the first day. It was great. I love the before Lift 4 workouts too. So
yeah, it's great. On Wednesday, Kelsey, you need to post about that.
Okay.
You need, like, on the day. Guess what, guys? I'm not working out today. And you could do even like a goofy face, like, oh my gosh, I'm scared. You know, like the the Home Alone face. Oh, I can't believe I'm not working out today. This is crazy. And you can talk about sometimes how people can get addicted to exercise, just like they can get addicted to just about anything, right? It just becomes like a, you know, you can even talk about your faith journey and all of that. It's like kind of a release. And, right? So that's good. Yeah. Bonnie, how about you? What's your perception so far? Bonnie, you look frozen. Are you frozen? Is Bonnie frozen? I think she is. Jen, how about you?
I loved day one, to be honest. I really pushed myself immediately because I know that if I don't push myself, I'm not going to grow past, what my normal is. And results is something that I'm really good about getting in a program. And I really just want to show people that, when you step outside your comfort zone, it does, it makes a big difference. So I loved it. And I'm looking forward to the 4 days a week because it fits my lifestyle. And I've been talking about that a lot on my Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
So I'm loving it. I know this program's going to be fire for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's so crazy. And I think having the, that gauging yourself by the way as you're going along and you're gauging your weights. Again, nothing against other programs, but it's like let's give it a good example. But it's like 21 Day Fix Extreme. I've done that program a lot of times too. Those are great workouts, but I'm not necessarily gauging my weights each time because I don't write them down. It's like, I sort of know that I lift this, and then I'm like, and he's literally going, "Oh, you were this last time. You need to try to bump it up this time." And so, yeah, that's huge, which is great.
Yeah, I love that part of it as well, tracking the weights. And that's something I've been telling my personal calendars too, is to make sure they're tracking so they can progress each week. So yep. I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. And I think once you, and those are the things, like when I first started, when I was doing this, I would do like my shoulder presses, I was doing 30s, and by the end I was doing 40s. And I even did some beginning sets where I did 45 and then dropped down to 40s which is a pretty substantial in about 12 weeks. Come on, man. That's like freaking a third of the weight. And my shoulders have been weak muscles over they actually, that's crazy because that's actually one of my better probably looking parts. I hate to say that, being prideful, but it's like, that's where I tend to it shows pretty well for me. But they're so weak. So they have Joe calls them, you'll hear him later, he calls them pumpkins. So I have the pumpkins, but they are kind of weak pumpkins. So Jack B. Littles. Anyway, but the strength part of that too is you'll see that as we progress, which is really cool. But I would tell you guys, just so you know, tomorrow, and you can remind your challengers on this, curling form is very important. Because a lot of people, and I'm going to talk about this specifically. I'll make a post about it. But so look, see my arm extension. This is full extension. If I'm down by my side, right, and then it comes up, and then it's back. But a lot of people they'll do all the way up, kind of resty, and then they come down about to here, and then they go back up, right. And so it's not really a full extended curl when you're doing your stuff, and they're missing out. So they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm doing like 50s. This is great." I'm like, you're not even fully extending. So that's why you're missing out on some of that, the full range of it. So just remember that when you're doing your curls and you're being in good shape. Now, don't lock them out necessarily, but yeah. Anyway. And I think, guys, as we head into the nutritional side of this is going to be the fun part of this too. Okay, what about the nutritional side? You guys, how are you guys all feeling about all that stuff? Is everybody good with the nutritional side?
I'm actually trying to do the macro part. So it's funny you mentioned that about a challenge.
Yeah.
I have pretty much calculated mine out already, and I'm trying to hit it. I know it's super hard at first. And again, you're starting to track. So where the containers, you're not counting calories when you're doing macros, if you're getting pretty specific, then you definitely have to have a tracker for that.
Yep.
So, so that's what I'm doing. I'll put my stuff in tonight and see how close I am here. And I'm going to take it day by day and just do the best I can. but I needed something different. So carb cycling I thought was going to be my deal.
Yeah. So you're going to carb cycle?
Yeah, I'm going to do the macro with and try to do the carb cycle, like the high carb on lift days and then the low carb on rest days.
Yeah, that's cool. Hey, Claire.
So it's trial and error, that's for sure.
So is the regular container system not okay?
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's
Okay.
okay. It's part of the
Okay.
program. That's,
Okay.
You'll see it. Yep.
I thought so. I just wanted to make sure.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying something different, Kel. Sorry, I just
Okay.
didn't mention
No,
it
you're
to
fine.
many
You're
people,
fine.
that's all.
Now you can get pretty close. Here's the issue, and this is the interesting thing about this macros group. I'm going to get all this information, so I've got it set. But they have translated the containers pretty well into macros. So it's you can still use the containers. So they've got them kind of like lined up pretty well. Again, it's I think so the containers are truly based on macros. It's just, again, what you're putting. There's going to be a variance between a calorie level of a certain, because if you put, I don't know, what's a good example? You put a ripe banana in a purple container, and then you have an apple. Very different caloric count difference there, and a very different sugar level, especially depending on the ripeness of the banana, right? You guys kind of probably understand some of that, how that rolls. So, so I think it's pretty cool. And so John is, if you guys know John Dilling, he's like a macro, like when he got his $1,500, his $1,500, it was all macros. He didn't do, it was P90X3, and he did all the macros, which is really, really cool. So anyway, that's that. Okay, so I think that's kind of what, like probably pretty much all we're going to talk about tonight. Is there anything else specifically we need to be doing? I do need to get a few people to you, Kelsey and Jen, that are still part of next week's group. How's that all going?
As far as getting people in the group and actually creating it?
You have some people that are interested, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay, non-lift 4Es?
Yeah. I have about 2 or 3 people that just signed up that are going to be brand new peeps.
Great.
Plus old, like, loopers that are going to be involved. So we should have a decent group because there's going to be some new faces in there.
Great. And Jen, how about you? How's your Success Club world going?
My Success Club world?
Yeah.
I think I think we're just at 3 right now. I'm waiting on, like I said, next week should be at 5, and then I'm like I said, I was working towards 8, but I'll shoot for 10 for sure.
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing I would always tell you, Jen, is never hang on somebody like to deliver that. That's that whole go for no thing. Because if you go, oh, I got it.
Oh yeah, no, I just keep moving forward because I've learned that the hard way. You don't wait on people because they don't show up.
Yep. You always get screwed.
But yeah, no, I think we're doing pretty good because, like I said, I've got a couple. I have 3 people in list 4, hopefully 4 here soon. I might throw one in a little bit late.
I'm going to do that too. I'd rather them experience the community, and they can be a week behind. Honestly, it's not that big a deal.
Me too. Actually, exclusive.
I was just going to ask about that because I have a girl that had a 3-month trial that she wants to buy the completion pack or challenge package for Lift 4, but sure. She was concerned that it would be towards the end of this month, and I said, no, we're going to get you in. Yeah. Just because I want her to experience it. I said it's an 8-week program, so you have plenty of time to experience it.
Keep going. Yep. The only thing that's really different, guys, when it comes to it is the last 2 weeks switch out because it's a shred phase. But everything else it's the same day. It's like chest and tries, and back and buys, rest day, shoulders, then legs. And that's it. And you kind of repeat. And I would just say, guys, as much as you can we can coach our people, the rest days are meant to, I I just would avoid, the biggest thing I want to avoid is 3 days in a row. But everything else, if you want to like shuffle those weekend ones a little bit, so if you do 2 days, do your rest day, and let's say you do workout, skip a day, do another workout, and then you got another rest day before you start over again, thumbs up. But you start doing 3 days in a row, that's going to be bad. Because if you tried to do, like get caught up and did, let's say you did if you did chest and tris, back and bis, and then you did shoulders next, bad move. Because when you're doing curls and things like that, or if you're doing back stuff, you're you're using your shoulders, and then you use shoulders the very next day, you're just not going to get good results. You're just going to be tearing apart muscle tissue and not giving enough time to recover. And guys, really, I'm just going to shoot straight when it comes, just so you know, when it comes to the performance line stuff in our group. I'm just going to be unapologetic about it. It's like, you can certainly do it without, guys, not a big deal. You can, but recover when it comes to the progress potentially you get when you're doing, when you're doing this type of workouts, having that recover immediately after to start synthesizing the protein with carb in the beginning, and for muscle soreness. So it's got that the big thing, if you guys notice, is that it's that pomegranate extract that's in there that is meant for muscle soreness. So if you want to coach, like, well, what's the deal about recover? It's that pomegranate extract that goes in there, really, really helps with muscle soreness. So I don't know if you guys knew about that or not, but anyway, good stuff. I'm also, by the way, doing creatine this time around, just so you know. I'm going to coach. We'll talk a little bit about creatine. I haven't done it in the past rounds. I did it back when I did Body Beast back in the day. So creatine is actually there's a lot of evidence that it does help aid in muscle growth and muscle recovery. It does do a little bit of bloating, but then when you after you do back off of it, you kind of shrink wrap, which is kind of a cool thing. So Claire, you had something. What did you say there?
Oh, I was just going to say the recovery when I was doing 80-day, that's like the most consistent I was with it. And I think it gave me that extra protein that I was missing, during the day, that I wasn't, because I'm always a chicken person and egg person, and I don't really vary it up. And and I have, burger once in a while, but, it's good to have that extra type of protein. And I noticed my muscles were more defined because of that too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it just helps everything.
Well, come on, y'all seen Claire's pictures lately. Those abs are like freaking popping like crazy, sis. Those up shots.
Yeah, when I'm not bloated.
No, you've been doing great. I mean, honestly, but like those pictures, seriously, come on. You're 49 right now. Is that what you are right now? 48.
Yep. This is my 50 year. Yeah.
50 year, yeah. So 49, and it's like, come on, man. It's like, what woman doesn't want to have that happening right now?
Takes work, but
it does.
Yeah, like Jen, and Kelsey, heck, you do too, and Bonnie. Oh my God, you're looking awesome.
See
all that bacon.
And honestly, guys, that's what this whole thing's about. Because if we're not getting the results that we want to get in this whole thing, then you're probably not going to coach others to do it the same way, right? You want to have the belief in it. That's why it's always that product of the product first. Has to be. And then you get your belief behind it, and you establish your why, and you start working from that, and then you do the other behaviors, start inviting people, and then you start recognizing people, and rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And the other thing is, just coming back to that, come back to the why real quick, is that when you have that why fully established about why you're doing this and why you're helping people and what you're doing, the what and the how is the why finds the way. It does, man. It's just like you don't go, oh, I wish I had more training and I wish I had no. The why is strong enough. Someone just goes, well, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm just gonna figure it out. That's great. But But if you don't really have a real compelling why, then it's like, yeah, then you can go, well, I wish somebody would help figure this out for me. So that's right. All right, well, guys, I will post this in the coach group. And let me know if you are interested in the macros group that we'll probably be putting together on Monday. So I'm going to be leading that, like I said, with John. And we can kind of roll from there. So let me know on that stuff. Just give me a message. And I'd love to add you to that group. And honestly, they ended up, now this is, I think, over 2 months. I think I've got like 330 in this group. I would not be surprised if we can get at least over 50 people in a group like this, if not pretty close to 100 potentially in a group that would like, hey, macronutrients ratios. So I'm going to probably even post on that tonight and start doing some teaser posts of like, any idea like what's the best macronutrient ratio to have when you're working out? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Sound good? Okay. Well, you guys have a great night. Thanks so much for being on. And like I said, I'll post it.
Good.
Also, for the good of the order, I don't want to shut this down unless people have something they want to talk about. Kelsey, do you have anything?
I don't think so.
Okay, go.
Hey, Dan, let me ask you one thing about the macros. Where's a good place to find like a quick synopsis or whatever of the whole macros thing? Is there a website that you
on
use?
Google, honestly, man, like bodybuilding.com is going to have that. I would imagine.
I have a website I can send in the Coach Club, guys.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Great.
Thanks.
Yeah, it just calculates macros and then it explains it to you just kind of briefly so you understand what the heck it is.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
That sounds good, Jen. And Jen, if you're, especially since you're doing this, if you want to help out too, let me know. And probably would be
Okay, yeah, this is really, really new for me. And I did ask in the Coach Club, but can you give us, my last thing here is, can you give us like an idea of what to post here to invite to the challenge, just so we don't miscommunicate the idea of what it's going to be?
Yeah. So it's basically going to be, again, we'll decide on the days. I'm thinking probably just a 5-day, just getting people to establish the proper ratio. So it's more than counting calories. I think that's the biggest thing that people need to understand. Because if they don't get the macros right,
Okay.
they won't get proper, because it's the quality of the calories. So it's talking about things like fueling your body versus filling it. Those kind of things that really make a big difference. So, all righty.
Okay, perfect.
Sound good? All right, people. Have a great night.
Sounds
We'll talk
good.
soon. Peace out.
Yep.
Thanks, y'all.